What up, comic book fam? Happy new comic book day, July 7th, 2021. I got another pretty decent haul. Let's get right to it. All right, I'm going to start off with Marvel this week. First up, we've got Children of the Atom #5. I don't know what's going on with these kids. I know they got in some alien ship and they somehow got their powers from that, but I'm really confused about this one. But I'm interested enough in the answers to my confusion, so I'm sticking around to get more answers and see if it's something that I'm really interested in. But at this point, I have no idea what's going on. Next up is America Chavez #4. In the last issue, we finally got to meet this hidden person that's been messing with America and her adopted family. And we learned, spoiler alert, we learned that it's her sister Catalina Chavez, and that we're going to learn a lot more about her history, her origin, and her real parents. So I'm interested to see this one. The last issue got a lot of hot spec. I know it was going for $12 right out the gate because of people specking about Catalina Chavez, America's sister. I don't know anything about all that. I'm not really specking on this one. This is one that I'm grabbing for the read. The writer on this one is Cullen Vasquez, and I've really enjoyed the way that she's set this story up. I recommend this one if the setup interests you at all. I recommend it. I'm enjoying this one. I'm actually interested to see what else Cullen's got out there in terms of what she's been writing. Next up is Avengers 46. I went ahead and grabbed the Peach Momoko cover on this one. I have bought the last few Avengers. I know they were finishing up this Phoenix thing where, again, spoiler alert, Echo ends up becoming the Phoenix. But it was my jumping in point, which was pretty late in that story, so I was really confused on that one. We're starting a new arc, so hopefully I can jump in, feel better about having a clue about what I'm reading here, and we'll see what the effects of Echo being the Phoenix is. And I also have been reading Heroes Reborn and Heroes Return now, so I don't know how that will tie into this, but hopefully it all leads to me having a better clue about what the hell Jason Aaron's writing here. Next up, we got Amazing Spider-Man #70, continuing the end of Nick Spencer's run. The last issue was okay, it was okay enough. I don't think that I know enough about the history of Teresa Parker and this clone guy or chameleon to really appreciate everything that's going on in this one. But I'm sticking with the Amazing Spider-Man. It was one from my childhood. It's just one that I want to have. Hopefully the new run will bring some new things into it. But I'm also interested in seeing how he's going to finish up this thing with Sinister War and this thing with Chameleon and Teresa Parker. So while it's not the best Amazing Spider-Man run ever, it is interesting enough that I'm going to keep buying it. I ain't mad about it. I also grabbed Amazing Spider-Man Annual #2. I guess this is continuing an Infinite Destiny story. I bought one, the annual one as well. I haven't gotten around to reading that one. We'll read these two together and see what's up. I'm grabbing this one because I'm trying to be in the know on Spider-Man and what's going on, so we'll see what's happening with this one. Moving on to DC, first up we've got Nice House on the Lake from King James Tynion IV, #1 guy doing it right now. Long live the King. Loved the first issue of Nice House on the Lake. It was very interesting, the setup of these people coming together and their connection and them ending up in this house, the last people alive in the world. No idea where this one's going, but I'm crazy interested to see what he's going to do with this one. This will probably be one of the first ones I read here. Looking forward to that one. And I also picked up that B cover because I feel like this one might have some legs to it in terms of its future potential value. I'm definitely specking on Nice House on the Lake. I think it might be going places. Sticking with DC horror, we got The Conjuring, The Lover #2. I thought the first one was cool. It was interesting enough for me to continue it, so we're gonna stick with it. I'm kind of feeling this horror thing with Silver Coin and House on the Lake. I'm grabbing more of it to see what's up. Going back to King James Tynion IV, we've got Batman 110. I'm reading this one mainly because it's a King Tynion book, but I'm interested in it. I haven't been the biggest fan of Ghostmaker, but I'm enjoying the build-up with Scarecrow and where they're going with that. This Simon Saint dude and this Peacekeeper jumping out. I know it might have stuff to do with Future State, which I haven't been reading, but I like it well enough, sticking with this one. Moving on to the independents, we've got Hollow Heart number 5 from Vault Comics. L, our monster robot guy, has gotten out, and he's dealing with the fact that he doesn't know who to trust, and a lot of what he's been given have been illusions and not reality. So this one's exploring a lot of emotional things, so it's definitely not for everybody. But I've been interested in it. I've enjoyed the thought processes that it's put me into. So interested to see where number 5 is gonna go. Next up is Black Hammer from Dark Horse Comics, Black Hammer Reborn. I know nothing about Black Hammer, but I came across 2 folks that talked about how much they loved it, and it was enough for me to give it a go. First up, we've got Comics Will Break Your Heart, Jennifer, who was on Bueller Comics recently. That was my exposure to her. I started watching her stuff, and I noticed she mentioned that she loved Black Hammer and everything about it, the world, and so that interested me in it because I hadn't heard of Black Hammer before. And then my comic book dad, Lorenzo, over at Alternative City Comics, mentioned that this was one of his favorite things as well. And so that was enough to tip me over the edge to go ahead and say, all right, let me see what's going on with this one. If those 2 like it, they seem to know what they're talking about. Let me see what it's about. So jumping in on Black Hammer Reborn number 1. Looking forward to this read. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it. Next up, we've got Out of Body number 2 from Aftershock. I read the first one. We've got a guy who is stuck in a coma of some sorts. We don't know exactly how he got in the coma, but it seems like someone did this to him. Someone tried to kill him, or someone put him in this coma. But he's having this sort of out-of-body experience floating away here at the end. And I have no idea what any of it means, but it was interesting enough for me to check out number 2 to see what else is going on with this one. So, and plus it's Aftershock Comics. I'm loving me some Aftershock, so I'm down for them. Next up, we've got Fight Girls from AWAUpshot. This is a Frank Cho production. He's doing the writing and the art. I don't know much about Frank Cho, but I'm interested to see. I like the story setup where the queen of the world has died, and they're having this tournament with these 5 women to figure out who's going to be the new queen of the world or galaxy or something like that. Maybe it's universe. But interested to check this one out, see if it's something that I want to hook on to. And as I've said many times before, I'm a sucker for a number 1, so I'm more likely to give a number 1 a chance, as it's a jumping in point. Next up is The Good Asian from Image Comics, Good Asian number 3. Now I went back and read number 1 before I read number 2, and I grasped number 1 a lot better than I did the first time. So it was kind of one that, at least for me, required a second reading. But once I read it the second time, and I got a better grip of it, and then read the second one, I'm interested in the main character, his ability. He's got this this mentalist or psych ability where he can, observe things, and it gives him info and keys into things that make him seem kind of psychic. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. I also like the historical aspect of it. We have Asians trying to deal with 1930s America and the racism that comes along with that. Trying to manage this world where you want to be authentically Asian, but at the same time still assimilate and survive in this not Asian world. As someone who's half white, half black, I actually identify with that a great deal. So really interested to see number 3 here, see where this one's going. And I'm liking the investigative noir feel to it. So can't wait for that one. Next up, we've got Carmen number 5 from Guillaume Marc. This is the last one in the series. We're gonna see what happens with our Catalina. Is she gonna get a second chance at life, or is this permanent solution to temporary problems actually gonna be permanent for her? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm interested in it. I've enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed the art. I've enjoyed the places that I've gone in terms of thinking about the themes of this one. So I'm looking forward to the end of this one, see what he does with it. Next up, we've got Noctera number 5 from Scott Snyder. This is one of my favorite books right now. I love the art from Tony S. Daniel, and I'm loving the story from Scott Snyder on this one. We've got some things happening with Val trusting some folks and maybe believing in something that doesn't really seem to be possible given the world, the dark, cold world that's been set up. We've got this this blacktop build chasing her, who seems to be incredibly interesting to me. The shot of him with the old man on his hood as he chases after Val in the last episode. That shot stuck with me, man. I was thinking about that shot for a while and the fate of that old man. So I'm hooked in on this one. I'm interested in the relationship between Val and her brother and trying to save him, and whether or not she will save him. So loving me some Nocterra number 5. I can't wait to get in and read this one. Next up, Geiger number 4, another one from Image Comics, this one from Jeff Johns. This is actually one of the series that I'm really hype about in terms of the future, in terms of possible ceilings on this one. I've enjoyed the first 3 episodes, super interested in this kind of Fallout New Vegas feel of a world that we have set up, and this kind of boy king, this immature king a la King Jeffrey, or Joffrey or whatever from Game of Thrones. The kid has a real feel for that, a sort of never had to earn anything in life, so doesn't appreciate anything in life, or is not considerate of anything in life feel to it. I'm loving this setup. Can't wait to find more about Geiger, what he's about and what he can do in terms of his nuclear abilities. Pumped for this one. All right, closing it out here with Boom Studios comics. First up, we've got Wind number 8, going back to King James Tynion IV. A big Tynion week. We've got 3 great books coming in from him, and Wind is another one of those great books. I am enjoying this one. This one sort of has a kiddie feel to it, so it's something that you could definitely share with your kids. But it also has this role player RPG fantasy feel to it, which appeals to me, the geek in me. So even though it does have a sort of a kiddie feel to it in terms of the story and the art, it's still working for me. I am enjoying this one, and I actually look forward to sharing this one with my kids one day when they get a little bit older. I actually tried to read this one to my daughter, but she wasn't ready yet. We need to get a little bit older so she can understand the themes of it. But I cannot wait to use comic books as a medium for getting my kids into reading. I think it's a great way to do that, and I can't wait to get the opportunity to try. All right, and last up from Boom Studios, we've got Basilisk number 2. I really enjoyed the first issue of this one. You got these people dropping down into this world, and they have crazy superpowers, but at the same time they seem to be like babies kind of discovering walking. And so as they're discovering walking, in a sense, for them, there's some serious collateral damage happening. I'm thinking of Homelander growing up in this lab with the boys. I imagine there would have been quite a bit of collateral damage as that kid figured out his powers, and in fact you get to see some of that with him choking out one of his nurses. But scary stuff in terms of that, thinking about it in that way, and putting myself in the shoes of running into that would be some scary shit. And I also grabbed the incentive cover from Raphael Albuquerque. It was only $10, so I went ahead and grabbed that bad boy. I liked the art on that one. Speaking of Cullen Bunn, he will be at Planet Comicon here in Kansas City this August. August 22nd, around 20th to 22nd, I believe. I do plan on getting out there and hopefully getting a signature or 2 from him. I don't know how it works. But real excited to get out there for that. If you're heading out there, let me know, because I'd be interested in meeting up with some like-minded folks. I don't have any comic book people around me really, so it'd be cool to go with people who are as geeked out about it as I am. All right, that's all I got for you for this week of July 7th, 2021. Love me some New Comic Book Day. It is like Christmas every week with it, and then when Loki coming every Wednesday as well. Wednesdays have been a big day in my life as of late.
Oh my God! I know him.
And I'm loving it. Always love having those things to look forward to. But drop down low and let me know, what was your read of the week this week, and what was your cover of the week? Always interested in seeing what you guys have to say about that. For me, my read of the week is going to be House on the Lake number 2 from the King James Tynion IV. Can't wait to jump in on that read. And in terms of cover of the week, strictly in terms of what I was able to buy today, I'm going to go with that the Good Asian #3B cover from Jen Bartel. She's one of my favorites doing it. Love her style, the smoothness and beauty of it. So that one's definitely going to be the cover of the week in terms of what I was able to get. But you guys let me know, what was your cover of the week? What was your read of the week? Always interested in that. But that's all I got for you this week. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Let me know with a like if you liked what I brought to you here. And if you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Peace.